pre-filtration. So Jared, we have a well tank here, and if I have well water in my house, tell me what this first component of the complete system does.
Well, this is what we consider the starting point. You know, your water comes into your house if you're on well water.
Yeah.
There's a pump down. You have a pump down in your well, which is out in your yard, which it'll be a white PVC pipe typically. The water gets pumped up from the ground, goes into this tank. This is a holding tank or a bladder tank, or commonly known as a well tank. So the water just gets pumped up in here. This is your water reserve for your house. It'll fill up, and then as you use water, this is where the water comes from. Obviously, it's untreated at this point in time, but this is the first stop of your water from your outside well.
So after it gets into this, and then you use water, let's say in your shower, water comes from the well tank, and where does it go next?
Then we're going to get into filtration after this. What it'll do is the well water gets pumped in here. You turn on your faucet, you're washing your hands and stuff like that. What ends up happening, Adam, is there's a bladder tank in here that helps keep the pressure, pushing it up to your faucet. And that's how this works. And then it goes to your filtration.
So now we finished with the well tank, and here we have pre-filtration. Jared, what does this do?
This can be installed, Adam, on both city water or well water. And what it does is if you have high iron rust where you just can't get rid of, and you've got a typical water softener that isn't filtering out, this would go before the water softener. It'll filter out the high iron. Also, if you have arsenic, which you've heard a lot of nowadays, this will filter out arsenic and other contaminants. On city water, it'll take out chlorine. Basically, a lot of people refer to this as a whole house Brita filter.
So Jared, these three components right here, looks like it's the meat of the system. Tell me what this is.
This is what most people are going to relate to. It's a water softener. So it's going to take out, Adam, the hardness, calcium in the water, and it's basically going to protect all your appliances so you have soft water.
And how does this work? Like, this is for the salt, obviously. How does this work?
Basically what you have is these are available in either single or twin tanks, depending on what you're looking for and how big your household is. And then that's just the salt tank. There's a different type of mineral in these tanks where it's going to be charged with sodium. And when the water flows through this, it's going to remove the hardness in the water, and your soap is going to lather better. You're just going to notice that everything, they say it's about a 20% reduction in soap usage when you work with soft water versus non-soft water.
So Jared, now that we've softened the water in the whole house, we have post-filtration. Tell me what this does.
Basically what this does, Adam, is you've heard of PFO, PFAS. We've all heard of Flint city water, the lead issues with the city water. This you can install either on city water or well water. It's going to be the closest thing to whole house purification that's going to eliminate a lot of those heavy lead contaminants that are harmful to our body.
I have a question though. What about pathogens, bacteria, and other items in the water that the filters don't get?
Great point, Adam. This here is an ultraviolet light. UV light is what it's commonly referred to. Your water is going to travel through this, and this is what addresses that right there. In fact, there's a lot of states now that are adopting this as a requirement. It's a great feature. It's going to take care of the bacteria item.
Yeah, that looks good. Go. Yeah, that's right. What you don't know can hurt you. Good morning, my friends. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman, and we are rocking it out here on 101 WRIF, everything that rocks. And we have such a great show for you this morning. We are jam-packed. It's deck season, my friends. And what does that mean? It means if you're thinking about renovating your deck, if you've got a graduation party, if you've got something going on in the backyard of your house, and by the way, the most popular home improvement right now is, we call it the staycation, outdoor living, gazebos, decks, patios, fixing your outdoor up and staying, cocooning, whatever you want to call it, is all the rage right now. So we're going to be talking decks today. We're going to be talking about all kinds of home improvement that you want. Remember, this is the home improvement radio show that teaches you, the homeowner, how to fix, repair, or remodel everything within the four corners of your lot. Now, remember, I'm not a do-it-yourself show. However, I am not anti-do-it-yourself. And to clarify that for everyone, sure, if you want to caulk a toilet, if you want to insulate some of your attic spaces or whatever, of course I'm going to help you. And I know how to do it. But from the neck down, my friends, I'm worth minimum wage, okay? And from the chin up, that's how I make my living. And so I've been doing home improvement for over 3 decades. And my advice to homeowners is basically priceless. I want to give you contractors who actually are solution-minded, give you hassle-free home improvement, and reduce your risk of getting ripped off, right? That's what we do at Hire It Done. And, you know, look, the world is crazy. And everybody knows a contractor that's screwed a homeowner, or no, excuse me, everyone knows a homeowner who's screwed a contractor, or vice versa. It's always one of those situations. So we have to really, really be safe, and you got to be careful today. And you know, guess what? Even our health. Look at this. Clean water. We take it for granted, right? But if you have water concerns, if you want to upgrade to a more reliable purification system, listen, I'm a neurotic person. I'm OCD. I want to know what's in my water. I want to make sure that I'm drinking healthy. And like my doctor told me, I'm chronically dehydrated. I don't ever drink enough water. I just can't, but I keep drinking and drinking, but I also make sure my water is clean. So here's the best thing to do. If you're thinking about getting clean water, why don't you get a water test, an in-home water test, right? Then you need someone who's smart enough to explain the test results in a clear, practical term. You know, if there's parts per million, ppm, dissolved solids, what does all that mean? Is there poop in your water? You know, is there arsenic? Is there stuff that's going to make an eye grow out of the middle of your forehead? You don't know, right? I'm telling you, environmental effects are a big thing. And we drink water every day. You use it for cooking, for all items. That's why it makes sense to get a water test. And that's why one of the best parts about Hire It Done is we have Beauchamp Water. He's a sponsor of the show. We call him the king of water, as you know. Everyone knows Jared Beauchamp. And on Saturdays, we do Salt Sale Saturday, which is discounts on water softener salt. But here's the thing. If you have well water, if you have city water, you can use Beauchamp water for both. I happen to have well water at my house, and I have city water. Why do I have well water? Because my house was built with well water. City came in with city water 10 years later, but I kept my well. Why did I keep it? For 2 reasons. One, for my sprinkler system, so the city doesn't give me these monster bills. But number 2, in case the world decides to go cuckoo, I have the ability to turn the water off at the city level and bring in well water. And so what did I do? I called Jared and I said, Jared, help me out. And he literally helped me get everything organized, gave me clean water. I have a whole house filtration system. My water is so clean that, you should be coming to my house and bottle it. I'll give it to you for free. And then you've also got reverse osmosis, which is the cool stuff. And then you got pH water. Everything's cool like that. But here's the other part. When you take water, you go on like TikTok and you've seen these like water filter shower heads. I'm always enamored by that stuff. But what if the water coming before that is schmutzy water? Schmutzy and scootsy, right?
They're technical terms.
Those are my technical terms. Those are Hire It Done / definitions. What do? Well, you've got to bring, clean water to you. So that's why you want to call Beauchamp. The other thing is tankless water heaters. Think about that. We always talk about tankless water heaters because they take up less space. They're more efficient and you get a rebate. Jared has a division that does tankless water heaters. So why wouldn't you go get your water tested, get a price on a tankless water heater, get your water clean, and then in one fell swoop, whoosh, you're all set. You got clean water and you'll be thanking me. Anyways, that's my spiel for this morning with Jared from Beauchamp Water. He's a good friend of the show. And if you want to give him a call, go to hireitdone.com, click on Beauchamp Water, or call him at 810-632-2000. There's so much you can do with them. And don't forget, it's Salt Sale Saturday. Also, shout out Saturday. If you're a contractor, if you're a homeowner, if you're a fan of the show, Text us in studio if you have a question this morning, 248-927-1985. Again, 248-927-1985. We're talking home improvement today. It's deck season. We've got everything decks coming on. In fact, in studio with me right now is Mr. Chris Quackenbush.
Good morning, Adam.
How are you, brother?
Good. How are you?
Chris is with Coy Construction, and Coy is one of the best and largest Trex, and longest too, Trex deck installers, certified dealers in Metro Detroit. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You're
We've
like
been around for 40 plus years.
40 plus years. So let's give a shout out to Mike McCoy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike's the best. Godfather of decks,
he's,
for sure.
he's the godfather of decks. Yeah. In fact, can we call him the big daddy of decks?
He'd probably laugh
They're
about
laughing.
that.
Mike McCoy is the big daddy of decks. Anyways, I've known him my whole life. In fact, as a kid going through like the Kobo shows and the home shows from around Metro Detroit, he was always there.
Yeah, he was a hustler on it.
Right.
You know, going after every sale, going after every deck.
So Coy's been around for a while, and that's nice to hear. You know, by the way, for everyone out there, if you want to hire a contractor, take a look at how long they've been in business. 96% of all contractors fail or go out of business in the first 5 years. Think about that, my friends. So what do you do in a situation where you're taking a risk? Well, you go with a company that's been around, because look, not every company's perfect. Not every company does a perfect job every time, but it's the companies that are solution minded, the ones that say, oh, we made a mistake, but here's how we solve it. Here's what we do. How about the companies that are looking for ways to make your outdoor living more exciting? In fact, Chris, I was just going to tell you, I have a homeowner that recently reached out to me and they're like, Adam, we have a paver patio, but we want to cover it. What do you think of those awnings? I'm like, no. Let's build a pergola. Let's build it with electric sides. And I said, I have the greatest contractor to ever for that. So they're excited because they're going to be calling you like, yeah, you know, as soon as the weather breaks, we're calling your guy, which is obviously Coy. But let's talk about that specifically. If someone has a deck or they have a decent outside, but they want to cover, like put a coverage, is the right term pergola? What would you call it?
Yeah, roof structures, pagoda. I mean, it's like one
there's
of those
1,000 names to call it.
Yeah, pergolas in my mind are like more or less the decorative style with the slats and joists that kind of have more open space at the top. But yeah, like a pagoda or a roof structure, installing that, figuring out the way to tie it into the roof to make sure that you're walking out and not braving any elements.
So how does that when you're doing that, like, are there pre-made structures, or is it you guys custom build it for every homeowner?
Yeah, it's custom build. I mean, it's sticks on the ground and we turn it into a beautiful structure that's custom made, whether what pitch or what material you want to use, we're gonna custom make that.
Okay, so let's build a scenario. I got a house, colonial, and in the colonial, we have brick pavers outside. I like them. They're about 10 years old, a little bit of, spreading out there, but I don't feel like ripping them out and redoing it. But I do enjoy sitting out there. So I want to build a structure above it or over it and cover it. There's awning companies that have those electronic canvas things, but I'm always afraid, like if it's a windy day or whatever, I prefer a structure. I call Coy, you guys come out and you measure, and even though, let's say it's offset and is it no big deal?
Really, it's where the roof lines are on the house and how to tie it in and make sure that, basically valleys that water can shed and snow can melt and go to the right places. But yeah, I mean, we generally figure out 99% of the roofs or roof structures. We recommend, is it going to be a hip roof? Is it going to be a gable roof? We look at the structure itself. You look at your house. What
Sure.
do you have on the back? If you have some gable ends on the back, well, we should match that. We shouldn't just throw a hip roof on that for aesthetically. It's not just throwing a roof up. It takes other factors that go into it.
What about those roofs that have the slats in them? That it's a structure. There's 4 posts. Let's just say it's not touching the house, but it's like it almost looks like I want to put the LED string lights in it, and I want to be able to have my barbecue and just chill out there. But when it starts raining, I want to be able to make so that I can have a structure above me where it prevents the water, but also maybe close the sides. Is that something you guys can do?
We can. We've run into kind of limitations on space when it comes to actually making the actual louvers.
Okay.
We've looked into some that are pre-made when it comes to the actual top, but then the structure itself, we look at supporting that for the size of it. But sometimes those run into whether or not louvers work. Like if we manually make these louvers, like are they going to get stuck, or working on that type of stuff to make that work can be difficult at times.
Okay. I get that. Totally get that. We're talking with Chris Quackenbush from Coy Construction. They're the Metro Detroit's #1 deck dealer. They specialize in Trex. And if you're thinking about getting a deck, if you're thinking about taking out your brick pavers and making your outside into a staycation where you just come home from work and you chill, it's so worth it. You want to call them and you want to get a quote from them. There's, plenty of deck people out there, and you see them in the Val Packs, you see them at the home shows, you see them everywhere. But the key here is finding a company that's going to know the design. It's going to have enough referrals to show you 50 customers if you want, and understand the product so that when you use a composite deck, if it's not installed properly, and everyone knows my cliche, the best deck is the one that's installed properly. If it's not installed properly, you basically ruin it. So we're going to break down composite decks. Can you reuse your existing base on your deck? And what does it cost when we come back? So I'm going to take a quick break. And for everyone out there locked in, take a look, go online right now. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram, YouTube. Just type in Hire It Done on all your social medias. And you can see us in studio. We have Chris Quackenbush. And at the breaks, we also play videos of us doing deck stuff. So it's visual as well. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we got more with Coy Construction. My name's Adam Helfman. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRIF. Everything that rocks. Coy Construction, and I gotta tell you, it's raining. What am I doing in the rain? Well, if you ever had a deck, you're like, I wish I could be on my deck when it's raining. Guess what? They built a roof over this. They have screens. This is awesome. Let's take a look at this in the rain. This is exactly the deck setup that you're looking for. So as you can see, it's raining out, but we're walking into the deck right now. This is awesome. The whole thing is dry. We have Chris Quackenbush from Coy Construction with me today. They're the builders of this deck. Amazing job. And we've talked in the past, deck, if it's raining out, you can put a roof over it, but this is the ultimate. Tell me in a nutshell what you guys did here.
Yeah, so we had a lot of complications with getting this permit approved, right? They wanted a full screen room with walls and everything. So we kind of compromised, went with retractable screens that went down. We were able to build a gable roof up top.
Mm-hmm.
So the deck came out the distance that we wanted to come out, built the roof over top, screens come down. So it actually gave that same feeling of a screen room that they were looking for, maybe a little bit less, but able to accommodate what the homeowner was asking.
So this is more than like a 3-season sunroom or anything like that. This is a full deck. It feels like a room addition. Beautifully decorated. It's pouring out right now. We're dry. It feels like the best kind of cool weather. Like you can just relax out here with mosquitoes in the summer, hot, humid. We have a ceiling fan. This is the ultimate outdoor, as I can tell. So you talked about municipalities. Is this considered part of the square footage of the house now because you put a full roof, or how did the city interact with you? Because we know it's completely frustrating dealing with municipalities.
Yeah, they don't actually consider this a square footage. They are talking about possibly making it, because it is attached to the house, part of it, but they haven't yet. But yeah, a lot of it is just technicalities of either rear setbacks or side setbacks that play a factor into it. I feel like we kind of manipulated it as the best as possible to achieve the goal that the homeowner was looking for.
You know what? I think you've knocked it out of the park on this. So you actually structurally built a roof, tied it into the existing house. This base for the deck, I mean, I see these big columns, you got headers. This is a big engineered construction job.
Correct, yeah. So tying it in, matching siding, matching the siding gable end on the outside, wrapping with AZEK, accommodating for the actual screens to come down, making sure that the railings all set properly, structurally on the bottom, making sure that this will hold this actual roof, along with the TimberTech decking that we laid down.
And it's unique because when we walked up originally, you know, I always tell people an addition or any add-on to a house should never look like it was just added on. And in this case, when I walk back, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like it's part of the house, which is a fantastic design element. And of course, with the homeowner knowing what they wanted, this is fantastic. So tell me a little bit about these screens. You obviously had a frame around this. It's a company called Magnatrack. Is it difficult? I mean, you have to have electrical. It's got to be perfectly level. Tell me about it.
So a lot of it is just making sure that we know what the screen manufacturer is. Sure. What are they requiring for where electrical needs to be? We just make sure that that's relayed to the electrician that's being installing the electrical, and then obviously with the homeowner, what do they want? What are they going to use it for? Is it going to be something where they're here all year round, where it's going to be down all year round, or do they want it to be going up and down and all that good stuff? The density of the actual screen itself, do they want it to be more privacy? They want to make sure that everything is all solid when they're sitting in here.
You know, it's interesting because when we were outside, and we'll show you guys in a minute, you really can't see in, so you've got that full bunch of privacy. Mm-hmm. And of course, I looked around. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. We've got Chris Quackenbush in studio from Coy Construction. Chris, welcome back to the show. Thank you.
Thanks.
Question for you. How long have you been doing this?
I have been doing this for 4 years now.
Unbelievable. And what do you exactly do for Coy Construction?
So I'm basically a sales manager, design and sales, go out, measure, have a consultation with the actual customer, figure out what their needs and wants are, go back, design a deck, roof structure, pergola, outdoor kitchen, whatever they're looking for, and then have a consultation in our office for our indoor and outdoor showroom, go over all the material and everything that goes with the project, and then pricing and quotes, and basically let them know what our timeframes are.
So if someone's listening to this show right now and they want to get a quote on a deck, you're going to be one of the people that can come out there.
Correct.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. And so let's talk about Trex. It's a brand. Google's a brand. Kleenex is a brand. But those are all, when I listed those on purpose, because those are all the leaders.
Correct. Yeah. Leaders in the industry. For
right.
Sure.
So they become by default the name they call it. But there is a huge difference in the Trex quality compared to other brands out there.
Yeah, what I really like about Trex personally is just their warranty and backing of that deck board is just top notch, right? So yeah, when it comes to when we install a Trex deck versus maybe a competitor's deck, I have zero concerns about anything that's going to go wrong with that deck. Not just by the manufacturer of how we build it,
sure,
but the actual quality of the product that we're installing.
248-927-1985. If you have a question this morning, text us. We have text open in the studio. It's also Shout Out Saturday and Salt Sale Saturday. We're talking decks with Chris Quackenbush from Coy Construction, Michigan's top deck company, just so you know. not only do they do the most amount of decks, not only are they the biggest Trex dealer in Metro Detroit area, but they're also the best quality, and there's pre-screened, certified by Higher Done. You pretty much have no risk when you deal with them. So installing Trex, there's a certain way to do it. People like the hidden fastener. They like it so there's no screw holes and things like that. And the colors, the whole setup is amazing. So let's talk about the actual product. Composite decking is the generic term. Trex is the brand. What makes Trex better than whatever is else out there? Because there's like top 3 brands, but number 2 and 3 combined aren't even at 50% of Trex. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah. One is, I mean, what most people look at is the number one thing is cost, right? You can, you have options that can make it worth it to go buy it. It's not just for a lot of people think, oh, well, Trex is just too expensive. I need to go to wood, or I need to go to a lesser product. You can still get that backing of Trex and still achieve your goal, and maybe not pay what an arm and a leg of what you thought you were going to pay. 2 is just the engineering and the science that's gone into it, the longevity of the company, and learning from their mistakes, and then never doing those again. Right. So to be able to back a deck board for 50 years that is going to be outside 100% of the time is just amazing. So
it's the best part about it. So let's do a little comparison. Decks today, and people who have decks, originally was a wood deck. What they would use womanized or now traded. Okay, and what that means for everyone out there is the regular wood gets treated in a factory with some chemical that prevents it from rotting or slows down the rot. That was the most inexpensive way to do a deck. Then you upgraded to a different wood, but it was still wood. Cedar. Cedar's a natural wood, and naturally cedar lasts an extremely long time. However, the cost of cedar today is exhaustively expensive.
Correct. Yeah, if you're looked at a cedar deck versus a Trex Enhanced Basics deck, you're going to spend more money for a cedar deck than you are Enhanced Basics Trex.
And have a deck that's better looking, lasts longer, and lower maintenance.
Low maintenance.
That's the other thing. With cedar, every year or even every 2 years, if you can do it right, you still have to power wash your deck. You still have to clean it, and you still have to restain it. The maintenance on a Trex deck is not maintenance free, but it's what I would call extremely low maintenance. Sweep it, power wash it, not even like super power wash it, like just water and a little bit of soap.
Hose, stiff brush.
That's it.
Bucket, Dawn dish soap. You're good.
And call it a day. So in your years of experience here, and you guys have been doing Trex for a long time now, what could go wrong?
From the install purpose, is that what you're kind of thinking? I mean, if it's installed properly, it's not going to look great, and then if you have miters that are going to open up and close, there's
so installation is more of a situation than the product.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the product is almost bulletproof when it comes to it. It's really the installation. So when you're installing this product, if it's not installed properly, if you don't know the weather conditions that you're installing this in, it could shrink significantly, and now all of a sudden you have a 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch gap in those miters that don't look great, and you're not proud of it when it's all said and done. So knowing what elements you are installing this in is a key factor.
248-927-1985. It's the text line is open. If you have a question for us, we have Chris Quackenbush from Coy Construction in studio. Shout out to Mimi out of Troy listening to the show. Thank you, Mimi. Mr. Positive, National Radio and TV. He's always listening. Thank you again, Mr. Positive. So, not to be cliche, but I always tell people the best window, the best deck, the best roof is the one that's installed properly. You just made the argument for me, right? You take the perfect board, install it wrong, it's ruined.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, if it's not installed properly, I can walk up to a deck and look at it and say, okay, there are 3 to 4 things that we wouldn't do for this install that I know that's going to fail.
Now, when you cut the Trex deck, it's the outer layer of the Trex is a PVC? Is it a vinyl? What do they call that?
Yeah, it's cover stock. So
Okay, cover stock.
Yep.
And then you use a certain blade, and then the inside of it is recycled bags, sawdust, all compacted.
Hardwood. Yep. Yeah. Recycled hardwood and recycled plastic.
So you're being
mostly
green.
recycled plastic. Yeah, absolutely. It's all recycled.
Which is always another, if you want to be good for the environment, that's another reason to use Trex. But my point here is there's a process to that. But when you install it and you cut the deck and you miter corners, or you're putting them parallel to each other or end to end, there's still movement in decks.
Yeah, and like anything else, I mean, there's going to be expanding and contrasting of.
So you can't put it tight.
No, and we don't even like butt joining deck boards or anything like that. So whether or not it's a divider board, buck board, however you want a transition board,
there's always a gap. Is there a recommended gap? 1/8 of an inch, 16th, 32nd?
All depends on the install. When we look at miters, sometimes it's really close, and sometimes we leave that little bit of gap because we know that it's going to expand, and you want to make that minimal distance between each other keep it looking.
But some people like that. Some people want a little bit of a gap. Now, when you put parallel pieces together, they have the hidden fastener that automatically creates the gap. Can you adjust that, or is that it's one way and only way?
Yeah, one way and only way, and that sets that gap perfectly. So when it rains, you're not going to have pooling of water.
That's the best part.
Snow, when it's melting, it's not melting. It's falling through and melting a lot quicker.
Speaking of rain, speaking of water, I have a deck I want coming out of my kitchen, but I have a walkout, and so below it there's a door wall. Also, I want to be able to have I want to have the Trex deck, but when I'm sitting outside below the deck and it's raining, what do they call that covers up the bottom of the deck underneath so the rain doesn't come through the deck and on top of me? There's like a rain catcher or something.
Yeah, so Trex has what they call Trex rain escapes. So it's a bladder system that goes over the joists and in between the decking. So you lay the Trex rain escape bladder system over top of the joists, and then the decking lays on top of that. Everything gets taped and then runs down to troughs. So you pitch it to the troughs, and then that goes to a gutter, which then sends down to.
Okay. So could someone add that as an option?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That makes sense. And for everyone out there, if you think that you can go to like a big box store and buy Trex product, you can, and then find some guy to install it. Let me tell you, you're not saving money, number one. You're putting a high risk involved. And if there's a problem and you call Trex like for a warranty, they can say, look, it wasn't installed right. We can't honor that. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. We warranty all of our decks that we build. We warranty them through Trex, and Trex recognizes that we're a Pro Platinum installer. So what that means to the homeowner is if they do have a warranty issue, a lot of times they don't send even an adjuster out there because
it's because you guys go fix it.
We installed it properly, and they don't have to go out there and make sure that it's installed properly. Where if you were a homeowner, you're not a Trex Pro Platinum installer, they're going to go out there and they're going to kind of fly spec that deck and see if there's something wrong with it. Like, this failed because of the install, not because of the product.
Right. Sometimes you see a board that's got a little bit of a bend or it's higher. I've seen that in the past, and it's really because it wasn't screwed down or it wasn't installed right or cut just a couple degrees off, and it becomes a headache.
Correct. Yeah.
Have you seen the product improve over the years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every year, do they come up with something new, or is it always like like the new Bronco, the new Mustang GTD, all these new cars, and every year you're waiting for the next model, but it's a continual evolution with Trex too, right?
Yeah, they start with colors. Colors are a big thing. Trying to switch up colors, introduce new colors, maybe get rid of colors that are not as successful. Another thing is like with their sun comfort. A lot of people complain about heat on the deck. So now they've introduced more UV reflectant in the actual cover stock. So from the lightest color board to the darkest color board could be a 30% decrease in heat.
So let's talk about a hot deck. If you have a cedar deck and it's sitting in the sun all day, obviously it's going to be warm to the touch. If you have a dark colored brown cedar looking deck of Trex and it's 80 degrees out, is that Trex going to be warmer than cedar?
When it comes to like a lot of it is like wood, what's the stain? If it's a dark stained deck, it's going to be a hot deck no matter what.
Correct.
Paver patios get hot when it's a light color and it's pure sun outside. So it's really the element of out there, right? So if you have a light color deck, it's going to be less hot than if you have a dark brown deck and it's all dark brown. I don't care if it's composite or wood, it's going to be a really hot deck to stand on. So when they came out with that Sun Comfort, just knowing and having it sit out myself, just having it sit out on our showroom and feeling the difference, you can significantly feel the difference of those deck boards.
You know, I'm glad you brought up the showroom. A lot of people like to go to home shows, and we'll talk about all the home shows you guys are in, but they like to kick the tires. And when it comes to decks, there's not, in Metro Detroit, in my opinion, there's not many deck showrooms, if there are any. I think you guys are the only one that has a deck showroom that is of any substantial look. And you have an announcement that we want to launch. You tell everyone real quick.
Yeah. So currently where we're at in Commerce, we have the indoor, but the best thing is like the outdoor showroom, right? That's open 24/7. So anybody can go in there, walk on that, take a look at it, see what colors you want to look at, railing samples, all that good stuff. Yeah, we're currently in the process of moving, still kind of in the Commerce area, but off of Benstein Road over there. And we're going to have I would say a 15 to 1700 square foot indoor facility that's going to highlight Trex decking in a large scale. It's going to highlight screen porches. It's going to highlight pergolas, upper level decks, landscapes, and all that good stuff.
And so when people want to kick the tires, they want to come see that, they'll be able to get a hold of you, because you go to people's houses and measure it up. Do you ever invite them back to the showroom after and say, hey, listen, why don't you come to the showroom, kick the tires, sit out on the deck, and enjoy and just feel like, okay, because I'm sure a lot of people with the pictures in your website and everything you have, it's not necessary, but it literally is the unfair advantage. You know what I'm saying? Trex,
I always recommend coming back to the showroom, because one of the big things is you can look at pictures online, you can look at a pamphlet or brochure that does not necessarily do it justice on the color of what you're looking at. Some people have walked in saying, I want this color, and they go out and look at the showroom out in the natural sun, and they're like, oh, I didn't know it's going to be this color, but I really like this color, and I don't like this rail, I want this rail.
So it sparks new ideas.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, that's the biggest scare for everyone, is not making a mistake on your colors. If you pick the color on it's like paint, right? Like you're always scared of you're going to pick the wrong color on paint. So if you have an actual touch, taste, feel of either decking or railing, and when we go to install this, that heartburn and that anxiety is gone. You know what you're getting. It's going to get. Right.
Interesting. And I like that. We're talking with Chris Quackenbush, Coy Construction. They service all of Metro Detroit. If you have a question about decks this morning, we'd love to hear from you. 248-927-1985. That's the text line. Text us the question. And of course, don't forget it's Salt Sale Saturday at Beauchamp Water Treatment Solutions. So if you got water softener, you want salt, go there. It's $6.99 a bag. The King of Water will take care of you, of course. And it's shout out Saturday. So if you're a contractor, you're a homeowner, we'd love to hear from you. And by the way, Hire It Done is looking for new contractors. We're always adding on concrete. We need some brick paver companies. We need some landscapers. We're good with decks. But we also need granite companies. We need some good contractors. I'm looking for another plumber as well. So if you know anybody, we got it. And we're here. Hire It Done if you're looking to grow and you're 5-star. Let's make sure you understand that. So you guys will service all Metro Detroit?
Correct. Yeah, we go up north as well. So
my house in Charlevoix?
Sure.
You go up, no problem.
We'll go, Alpena, Traverse City. We'll go everywhere. We have limited spots available for those.
Because I'm sure you're super busy.
Yeah, we haven't found with our standard of install, we haven't found a actual installer up there that you
send your own people.
Yeah, so we send our own people. They
quality
go up there.
Control.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that, and that's actually good. That's a kudos to you guys. But you got to remember, you guys have been around 40 years.
Correct. 40 plus years. 45 years now.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Most homeowners, you need to understand that you guys know what you're doing. So let's talk about timing. Someone hears you today, or you're at a home show, right? The outdoor.
Yeah, the cottage show,
and where's that at? Novi?
Yep, Novi.
The Novi home show place.
Yeah. Now it's Vibe Credit Union.
Vibe Credit Union.
Yeah, is what it's called now.
what was it? It was called the Rock Financial Showplace at one time. Then it was the Suburban
I
for
know.
many, many years. And
Yeah.
now it's the Vibe.
Yeah.
I get a good vibe when I go there. So people can go there. You have display,
Correct.
and they can ask all kinds of questions.
Yep.
I like that. So people, if you're interested, you got yellow fever, you want to get out of the house today, go to the Vibe, Suburban Vibe / Novi Home Show / Outdoor Rama, outdoor whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
I just bastardized the whole thing. I just ruined it. Hey, whatever. It's all good. But if you want to talk, kick decks, it's always a good thing. My whole point is to help homeowners make good decisions. But let's talk about timing. If they go today and see this, and then they invite you to their home next week, can you get out to their house next week?
Yeah.
So here we are in February, but homeowners are getting a little smarter, because if you think that you're going to have a graduation party in May or June this year, and you want to have a new deck and you want your friends to get, if you're not calling you now and getting on the schedule, if someone waits a month, are they cutting it close, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, currently right now, I mean, we are roughly 8 to 10 weeks out. So when it comes down to getting on our schedule, now is absolutely the best time. I mean, trying to figure it out, get that all lined out, because sometimes it could be whether or not design is the right way, materials, trying to figure all that stuff out. So you give yourself at least 2 months of time to try and figure that out. And then once we're ready, we're building it before summer actually hits, when you want to really enjoy.
You will get the value of the enjoyment.
Correct.
Here's the best part for everyone out there listening. The first time you use your deck, you sit out there, iced tea, a beer, a hot dog, your grill, everything's jiving, right? Music's pumping. It's the best feeling ever. The last thing you want to do is not have that happen in October.
Yeah, you don't want to be saying, when can we get there? And hopefully you can get there in this time.
You want to plan it properly. So that's the key for everyone out there. And that's why I say work now. And so that's always a good thing for you to get done. So when homeowners are making decisions on deck, and you've got the design, they're liking it. They're like, yeah, we have a graduation party, but we want to have a gazebo too. We want to have step down over here. I want lighting, but they're not sure about railing. They're not sure about where the lighting is, and maybe color combos. That's when you say, come to our office, come to our showroom, and take a look at other ideas, right?
Absolutely. And myself and Chris, the other design and sales person that we have, if it's a deck that's not there, we'll throw it on our CAD program, show you what it looks like, how it's going to look close on your deck, and then go over those railing options and go over the lighting options and see what you want to do, and really kind of give you our professional guidance when it comes to whether or not you should put lights here or there, where the steps should be, all that good stuff.
And that's the best part about it. So, and how often do people, when they see the showroom or when they come to make other decisions, do they upgrade? Is it a common thing?
Oh, a lot, because you might go in thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to go with, but then you see something else that really piques your eye, and then you're like, oh, for a couple $100 more or whatever it is, if it's depending on the job itself. But you're looking like, okay, this is worth spending a little bit more money to upgrade this railing section, because this railing section doesn't look the greatest to you and you don't like it. You thought you did, you saw it on a picture, and that's what you thought.
And then you touch and feel, you see lighting, like on posts. I like a lit up post, and let me ask you a question. What about the people who buy like these, I'll use the word the Temu solar lights, oh, I can put them on this. What do they last, like a week?
It's basically, it all depends on if you're full sun, maybe they might last a little bit longer because it's, charging the actual battery itself. But knowing that a hardwired landscape lighting that goes through that fits the actual Trex cap, sometimes those won't fit the exact cap or exact post, so they look a little bit different that way. They might be a little bit bigger because it's got to hold the battery and hold the solar part. So it's all about making sure the look and the feel, and when you want them to turn on, you want them to actually light up.
Exactly. That's I bought those I bought those solar address lights, and I have 4 digits, obviously. 3 out of the 4 work.
Now you're getting the wrong man.
DoorDash.
Yeah.
The guy's texting me from DoorDash. Are you 40 what? I see 465. What is this going on here? You know, I'm like, dude, you know, my neighbor's like, did you order a Buddy's pizza? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, it's sitting on my front porch. Come get it. I'm like, no, come deliver it. You know, I'm like, oh God. But obviously for that, now I want to have a big party. I want the deck, and it's a big deck. Are there ever concerns? Does ever have a homeowner concern, or do you guys ever have a concern about someone saying, I'm going to have 50 people on my deck. I'm going to DJ. I'm going to have, you know, a night. We're going to have a rave. Right. And all of a sudden, you know, in the back of my mind, you know, when you like Google deck disasters, you got collapsing decks and all that. Did you ever worry about that?
No,
you design it like over design.
We design it how to fit the needs of the customer.
And that's what I thought. And again, that's the reason why I ask is because you see these terrible things about deck collapsing and all that. That's not going to happen, obviously, with you guys. But always be safe. Better safe than sorry. Again, Coy Construction in studio. Chris Quackenbush, he's the guy that will come out and see you. Great company. What's the phone number someone wants to call and make an appointment?
248-363-1050.
363-1050, area code 248, or just visit hireitdone.com. Click in Coy. You'll get a chance to see them. We're going to take a quick break, Chris, but we're going to come back. I want to talk about pricing. What's it really cost to get a deck? How crazy can you get? And what's the advantage or the unfair advantage that you have? Let's keep it locked in here, folks. My name's Adam Helfman. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRIF. Everything that rocks. So, Chris, someone bought a Trex deck from you, and they're at the stage where the design is already done, but now they're selecting the colors. You bring them into the showroom, and here we are, and you have this beautiful display here. Explain to me how this helps make the decision.
So when a customer comes in, it's always really beneficial to come in to see all the different colors, all the different lines of material with Trex. When it comes to the actual lines, there could be cost-effective ways to save money or move up in the ranks on the actual pricing of it. This is a wall that I always say that is a elimination wall. You can eliminate what colors you don't like, and then take samples of colors that you do like, take them to your house, put them on the deck, match it to the house, see what you like.
I imagine when someone's selecting colors for a deck, there's so many colors and so many choices that it's like information overload. So you come down here, you filter it out, and it allows homeowners to like actually see, touch, and feel, kick the tires. And if they like this color as opposed to this color, they can take it home, hold it up against the brick, and see if it makes a better selection.
A lot of people look online for colors. You're not going to get the true color of the actual deck. Even if you're looking at our outdoor showroom and you're looking at that color and you say, yeah, I like this color, but it's not the same atmosphere. That's not the same color of your brick. That's not the same color of your siding. Doesn't fit well. That way, again, you can take those colors that you do like, take those small samples, take them to your house and see what works.
Now, if someone wants to upgrade, because I noticed like there's different names on here. This is the Transcend. There's different levels here. Can somebody upgrade if they come in and see it like this?
Absolutely, because a lot of times we give all the quotes for all 5 levels that we recommend. So a lot of times you can look at it and go, well, I did like this price, but wow, this color is really nice. So you upgrade and kind of go up that way. There's always different ways of why this one's more expensive than this one. You know, warranty, cover stock, color changes, stuff like that. So yeah, it's always really beneficial to walk in and say, yeah, I really like this price, but I don't like any of these colors. That makes a big decision. We don't want to install something that you thought because of price that you thought that was going to be a good color, and then it's not.
let's educate the viewer now on good, better, best. So let's show them what the good Trex is that most everyone has.
So a lot of people are going with the Transcend. So when you go with the Transcend here, this is actually the 50-year warranty on this. This is going to be your best scratch resistant. Cover stock's going to be a little bit. It's a full platform profile. So right here, there's no removed material on the bottom of that. So, and you can kind of see how that cover stock is a little thicker on that part. So that's your scratch resistant. It's going to for fading, warping, splitting, cracking, twisting. That's going to be covered under Trex's warranty.
And this is the most popular of all the Trex?
Yeah. Transcend is one of the most popular. I would say the second most popular is the actual naturals. So because they have streaks and striations in it, when it comes to the actual board itself, it's still giving you that nice color matching and color streaks and striations in it. But you do have removed material, which then makes it more cost effective. It doesn't cost as much for this board to be made.
Okay.
The cover stock is a little thinner on this, so in terms of scratch resistance, it's a little bit more susceptible to scratching, but still a really solid board.
Let me ask a question, because I have a deck in my backyard. I have Trex, and I've had it for a few years, and it looks brand new. It looks like the day I got it. Question I have is, I've never seen anyone cut into a deck, drop anything, and I have all kinds of barbecue equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a real high risk for a homeowner to even worry about that?
No, a lot of times I'm always like, this is what Trex will say that is the most scratch resistant. So if that's what you're concerned about, then go with that. But when it comes to the actual board itself, I'm not as concerned as maybe some other people might think about when it comes to that actual.
Welcome back. This is Hired Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Having a great interview right now with Chris Quackenbush from Coy Construction in studio. We're just about to talk about what the pricing is, because you know what? Look, we tell you, if you're going to invest in your house, a deck will give you a return on investment. Does everyone ever ask you, Chris, I want to put this deck in. Is my house going to increase in value? Do you ever hear that?
All the time.
And there's the cost versus value report gives people an idea of what the house will increase. But I've talked to real estate agents, a new deck, especially composite, absolutely gives you every dollar that they put into it as an added value to the house, correct?
It's such a leg up. When you look at, if I always say, put yourself in the shoes of a buyer of a home, and there might be two houses that you're contemplating which one to put an offer on. One has a wood deck or one has a Trex deck. Which one are you going to gravitate towards? So that's already starting off at that point. And then if you're the seller, you can ask a little bit more money, or if not more money than with a completed deck that you just put on.
You know, it's interesting. You're right. I posed that question to real estate agents a lot, because I have real estate agents on the show, and I want to talk about, if you're going to sell your house, what are the aspects of the sales process that people gravitate towards? Kitchens, baths, obviously, curb appeal, but decks is always in the top 5, right? And that's important. So let's talk about pricing. I want to put a deck on my house, and it used to be, keyword used to be, how much you charge a square foot? I'll do a deck for, $50 a foot, $60 a foot, $12 a foot. That doesn't work anymore. Now it's, what is the, complexity of it? What's the design? What product are you using? Are we using existing footings? Are we cutting your old deck out and putting all new posts? All of that has an impact on the price. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. We have to look at all factors when it comes down to it, whether or not it's, the old way, or we still do this, but I mean, whether or not we're going to have ground screws as a footing, or are we burying these posts? Railing selections. There's multiple different railing selections that can go into it.
Changes everything.
It changes everything. But I mean, and then along with decking, I mean, there's multiple layers of decking that you can go.
Have you ever had a homeowner say to you, listen, we got a competitive quote, and the guy said it's the same, but even it's not the same brand, but let's just say he says it's the same. Mm-hmm. And then they show it to you, and you pick it apart. It's easy to look at someone else's quote, but the product, like I've heard, they have like similar products that are imported from foreign, and the quality's way less.
We've had, we actually replaced a deck that the homeowner replaced that they bought at a big box store that was not Trex material. And immediately when I walked on it, it was just absolutely, it was like kind of scary, to be
Squishy?
honest with you. It was creaking and bowing and doing everything that you don't want to feel on a deck. You want to feel like you're solid and
Sure.
you're not going to fall through a upper level deck. So you see I see a lot of the mistakes that maybe somebody has made at that time, and quality is number one. If you're going to spend a significant amount of money to enhance your backyard,
Sure.
you want to make sure that you have zero questions when that project is done.
You know, it's interesting. In the past, I've thought about it. Homeowners kind of raise an eyebrow when they see a price on a fence. They're like, wow, that's expensive. They see a price on a basement remodeling job. The basement's already there. Why is it so expensive? A deck, you know, they're like, oh my God, this deck, it seems expensive. But at the end of the day, it's not, because you have to factor in the value of enjoyment, the enjoyment factor. That's, you know, it's like when the deck is done and you have your first Sunday barbecue and your family's there and you're chilling. Doesn't matter what they paid.
Oh yeah, and when you're talking about the enjoyment factor and the longevity of this deck, right? So a lot of people may spend $60,000 on a new car
Sure.
that they're going to have for 5 years or 6 years, and then they're going to have to buy another one.
Yep.
If you stay in this house for 20, 30 years, this deck that's installed shouldn't have to be installed properly.
Correct.
Should be perfectly fine for 30 years.
What's the warranty on Trex?
Some levels are at 25 years, and then the highest level is at 50 years.
So basically, it could be the last deck they ever buy.
Correct. If you stayed in that house for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, that's investment that you do not have to
Worry about. What is the maintenance? Just a little bit of wiping it down?
Just wiping it down,
It's
really.
pretty slow. That's what I like. So back to pricing. When someone asks you, what do you say to them when they say, all right, well, how much is it a square foot? I got a 20 by 20 area. I want to do a deck. It's 400 square feet. You tell them what? Give me a ballpark figure. Well, there's Tiger Stadium and there's Comerica Park. Which
Right.
one do you want? Right.
And that's a problem when, I get that question all the time, right? So it's like, okay, well, what I have to dive either down deeper or just let me know what this is, right? And if it depends on the project. If it's a front porch with no railing, I mean, that's fairly simple for me to
Correct.
figure out a really quick ballpark price. But if it's something that's upper level, you want a roof structure, you don't know if you want glass or you want cable railing or you want regular railing, whatever, stairs going down, all this good stuff. That's great, but that's something where you really have to sit down and take a look at it. And let's be honest, if you want something extravagant like that, you're going to want to sit down and know what you're getting and not just having this like ballpark number. Because what if we don't think of a factor that is a key factor in it right there on the spot.
It's disappointment is
Right.
what it comes to. It's a recipe for disappointment. I understand that. But again, when you talk about homeowners, they're like, yeah, I just want to know. So you say, okay, 20 by 20 deck is 400 square feet. You're going to spend 40 to 80,000. Well, okay. Or whatever it is. Right.
Right.
So I would rather have a homeowner invest the time and come to you. Now, when you go to the house and you give a quote, how long are you there for?
Sometimes it can be as long as the customer really wants or needs.
More of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, how does the conversation go? A lot of times, if somebody's looking at a deck and they have an existing deck, it's just falling apart, and they're like, okay, I don't want to change anything. This is what I want, the same design. I just want to know my options on decking and everything.
Okay.
So it's either I really like having them come to the showroom and
Smart.
going over all the materials, because quoting all these different scenarios is just a lot, right? So you want to nail down what you're looking to install.
And you guys have a process. You take them down a path where they're like, okay, so first we're going to talk about the understructure. Then we're going to talk about the actual product of the deck. And then we've got the colors. And then you've got railings, and you've got spindles, and you've got steps, and you've got lighting. And so as you check mark the ones they want, then you can build the price. You can build the whole thing. Now, when someone says, I want to get it done as fast as possible, you won't start a deck until all the material's in.
Correct. Yeah. And we use Northville Lumber, Man's Lumber all the time, and they stock almost every Trex
Northville
board.
Lumber and Man's Lumber, the two big Trex distributors.
Correct.
You buy from both.
We buy from both. Yeah.
Shout out to Northville, Stuart, and
Yeah.
then Doug Manns at Man's.
Yep.
I like both of them. Good
Oh, yeah,
guys.
absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to balance it between them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They like to fight.
We like to share the wealth when it comes to that, I guess. But
Well, you get
yeah.
good service from both.
And a lot of it is logistics too. I mean, if it's down near Canton area, then we're going to use Mans. If it's up north a little bit more, then we're going to use Northville. So it's just
Well, that's
sometimes
actually a
logistics
smart idea.
Makes a difference.
And you know what? You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So I agree with that.
Yeah,
It's really
no.
definitely good.
They're both great companies.
Now, as far as start to finish right now, if someone calls you this week, can you get let's see, we're almost at the end of February, all of March. Can you get a deck done before May 1st?
We'd be right there. Yeah.
So it's starting right now.
It's getting there.
So people have a window of 2 to 3 weeks
Mm-hmm.
before, you're into the beginning of summer.
Right.
So every month you start, every beginning of every month, let's say April's coming up, or let's just say March is coming up, 6 to 10 weeks down the road is when the decks could be started.
Correct.
And that's not including any bad weather or not and things like that.
Yeah. Rain's our number one. This winter was really tough. I mean,
Oh, it's so
how cold
cold.
it was and everything. And we work all year round, and we also
Brutal.
want our guys to be safe too. So
Well, of
when
course.
it's freezing that cold, I mean, and that much snow, I mean, just the little tedious snow that we got every single
Right.
day,
And
it
the
seemed
rain.
like. And
How about when a homeowner, and let me ask you this, homeowner says, yeah, but it's supposed to be 50 this week.
that's
Crazy.
Yeah. And that's honestly, that's when we start ramping up. I mean, our guys are like, it's
Let's
almost
go, let's
90, right? They're
Yeah.
working with a short sleeve shirt on, and it's like, this is the best.
I like that. That's kind of cool. So, you've got that going, you've got the great crews. What about, I'm always interested in footings and the under structure of a deck. Instead of digging a 42-inch footing with a post, there's screws, there's new technologies. Are you guys adopting any of those?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What's your most favorite way to go? Screwing it in? Or
yeah,
just a dig a footing?
What's really nice about ground screws are, one, there's no post hole inspection, so we don't have to like tear that deck
But
off.
it's code approved.
Correct. Yeah.
And
because
Trex approves it. Everyone approves it.
It measures the pounds per square inch once
Okay.
it goes in, and it's a pass or fail when it comes to that. So, and we haven't had one fail.
Can you make them longer? You can,
Yeah, there's
because you got to go
4
sometimes
foot.
deep.
Yeah, there's 4 foot, 6 foot, and 8 foot screws.
Typically, you use a 4-footer. Or you
4
gotta go-
footers are usually, and then new houses and stuff with like basements that were dug.
How do you screw them in? Is
It's
it
a
like,
machine that goes in, so it almost looks like a handheld machine, like a
Okay.
sawzall type machine. The 8 foot screws are a little challenging, so you got to get on a ladder first, and then drop it
push
down to
down.
get to the certain
is there a
point.
way to measure the pounds per square foot or the resistance?
Yeah, there's a gauge on that.
There is?
Yeah, so
Do you have to take a picture of it, or how does the
it prints
inspector?
out. We can print out a reading for it, and then that
Oh,
gets
even better.
stamped off and all that.
Is it save money or saves time or anything?
I would say it saves time when it comes to tearing it off, digging the post holes, waiting for a post hole inspection to be done before we can start going. We can just drive that screw in the ground and keep going because there's no post hole inspection.
But you still call misdig.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You'd hate to screw down and hit like electrical power wire. Things like
Correct.
that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what's the phone number again if someone wants to get a quote for a deck?
248-363-1050.
248-363-1050. If you want to see, if you're listening right now and you want to see Coy today and some Trex product actual, go to the outdoor living show.
Yeah, the cottage show. and
Cottage show, sorry.
Outdoor Rama. Yeah.
Outdoor, whatever they
Yeah.
It's at the Vibe whatever
Showplace,
place.
Suburban. Yeah. It's
Novi.
Vibe now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Novi.
Okay, the place in Novi. That's the place to go. Yeah. Or go to coyconstruction.com and they can call you guys as well. That's awesome. Shout out to Adam Niemer.
Yeah. Adam Kaiser.
Svelte.
Yeah.
Adam, is he cloned now? Is he like, did they replace him? Did the
Yeah.
deep state take him and now he's a clone?
I don't even know who he looks like
All
anymore.
right, well,
so.
say hi to everyone and all the Coys as well. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you want a quote on a deck, you want clean water, just visit hireitdone.com. We have the best. My name's Adam Helfman. I'm a 4th-generation contractor, ready here and helpful for you, the homeowner. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRIF. Everything that rocks.